Welcome back to Momentous Struggle, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. On this week's episode, Aubrey and I are going to talk about Adepticon 2026 because there have been announcements that have come about for all of the events coming up. So we wanted to kind of dive into those and might have an announcement at the end of this podcast as well that might be of interest to people. So we'll just go ahead and jump on into it. Aubrey, how are you today?
I am doing good. I may have learned something right before the start of this podcast that has me a little distracted. We'll talk about it in a moment. It's fine. It's fine. I'm doing great. I'm doing good. I slept well last night, which doesn't always happen. I had my coffee. I'm awake. I'm here. We're doing fine. That's here. Good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I actually started my vacation because I have like 60 hours of leave I have to use by the end of the year. And then I work for the government, and then the president decided to let us have Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas off, which was 2 of my days of leave. So now I have to randomly find 2 more days of leave I have to use by the end of the year. It's a good problem to have, but as a supervisor, there's a lot of end of the year stuff that I have to do. And I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm glad I have to take more time off and everything. It's nice to get time off, but finding time off to take off is a challenge sometimes. So, but other than that, I'm doing great. Been busy just, doing the holiday stuff, decorating and stuff we did, like, all the stuff you do with kiddos and everything along those lines. And then my oldest is getting into MCP. So they have like some really cool starter sets that just came out for Marvel.
Yeah, they did.
And so he bought the 10 or the Spider Foes box, and he's
making Izzy proud.
He wants me to build and paint them. Yes, exactly. Izzy would be ecstatic. So I'm building and painting those right now. I've got about half the box built, and 2.5 of the models painted already for him. So just kind of chugging through that because it's a lot of plastic to build and paint. But I'm not going too crazy with it. Just giving him a Todd special basically on painting. But yeah, other than that, normal stuff. Have you been doing any hobbying or shatterpointing or anything like that?
I am happy to report that the foretold many a moon ago 3D printer finally arrived, and Talia actually helped me kind of rearrange the 3D printing room a little bit, bring out some furniture. We had to go over to Goodwill and find some, you have to get a particularly sturdy table to hold these things because they shake and rattle back and forth sometimes, particularly the bigger models. So we got this whole room set up. I now have 2 3D printers going. The first job, sorry, Todd, remember how we didn't want any more generator rooms? I might have found half a table of generator rooms that were already printed out, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish that table. So we'll have one more generator room for LVO.
Fair enough.
Because I opened up a box and I was like,
So I think there's a way that we could take like generator rooms, because they have those gantries that are like half curved, half straight, and like incorporate like a couple of generators into like some fractured city. So it's not all generator room. I think that'd be kind of fun to sit there and maybe mix and match a little bit like that too. Maybe make some of those like partial tables, but that's also something we can play around with. So.
Oh, I saw it. It was for Legion, but I saw a table where somebody set up the whole Naboo themed hangar. So like you could have a battle inside the hangar with like all of the Naboo starfighters that were like sitting around. But then the back of the table actually opened up into, it wasn't like Imperial Terrain's generator room, but it looked very similar, and they had the whole thing lit up with LEDs and everything, so it looked wild. It would be entirely impractical for Shatterpoint, but it looked so cool that I was like, man, if you could just make even just like not the whole hangar, but like if you had like a partition of a wall with like a couple of Naboo starfighters on one side with like maybe the crane from Imperial Terrain, even though like I don't think there was a crane in their hangar, but whatever, you could make it work, and then have the generator room on the other side. So I got half of an idea there. I just got to figure out how to make the hanger part fit for Shatterpoint, because of course you just need like cover and stuff. So like you probably are deploying like, not that I played on this, but you're probably just deploying models around the Naboo starfighters and like using them as cover in Legion, which makes sense. But in Shatterpoint, it would just be a big giant flat area with some essentially scattered terrain.
Yeah. I mean, and it's okay to have stuff like that from time to time, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So yeah, but any games in? I know you like. Are you just still just doing the hobby stuff?
No, this week was definitely more hobby than anything else. Didn't get a lot of painting done because it's just the holidays. Like there was even a couple of times where I thought I was either going to be able to come out and get a game, or I was going to be able to do another thing. And let me tell you, I know she doesn't listen to this, but I have to give the fiance credit. She like lowered the number of obligations I had for the holidays because I'm always stressed out by the sheer number of things her family plans. And so this is not on Talia or her family. I just still, I was the one kind of covering for work and covering shifts. Like all of next week, I'm pretty much the only supervisor in the building at my work because they work around my schedule of going to LVO, going to Adepticon, the long trip I take that I'm probably going to keep taking after LVO. So I have to play ball the other time. So I'm the one kind of filling in because I'm salary. So not that they take advantage of that enough as far as I'm concerned. Well, not that I'm complaining, but I'm the one kind of on the hook for all of the days around the holiday. Okay, Todd, I got excited. I was today years old when I learned that the president can apparently give y'all holidays just randomly one-offs. Like that's within his purview. I thought he was announcing like a new federal like the way we had Juneteenth added, and it's because I saw the headline and I was like, wait, because that stuff usually trickles down. Like because I work for city government, local government, you work for federal, and I was like, wait, if the president's making two new holidays, that means I'm gonna get two more holidays. No, just kidding. Never mind.
No, it's
Apparently,
just
he
an
could just do
executive order to
this.
give us a day off. Yeah, it's just an executive order to give us days off. Which sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. Like it's one of those where it's like when it happens, it's fantastic. When it doesn't, you're like, oh, bummer. But it's nice. It's nice. But yeah, so I got a game in this week though too because I went up to Gamers Guild and met because for a normal weekly meetup, there wasn't many up there. It was just Dane's brother, Austin. Dane's brother. That's yeah. But I met up with him. We got a game in. It was pretty fun. It was I played Hunter Obi, and he was playing a Asajj and Dooku, and it was Asajj with the Noserai and the Aqua Droids, which was really cool. And we played a three struggle game. He ended up winning on the third struggle on my turn with
Oh, boo!
Dooku's
With Dooku's
right.
crackback.
So yeah, with Dooku's crackback from the droids being able to get a wound and get a momentum to sit there and win. I mean, it was he had it no matter what. It was one of those where like I had to I had to I probably if I probably could have stopped short from the wound and then to not trigger the crackback, but it wasn't gonna matter. I was only scoring like 2 points, and he was in such a good position it didn't matter. But it was a fun game with him. Yeah, the who was it? I think it was the Aqua Droids doing an attack into. Oh gosh, I think it was into Hunter, who was pretty close to wounded at that point in time. And it was pretty good. It was a fun game. We had a fun, just kind of like relaxed, chill game. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, I had a good time because you played. Was it? I want to say it was the Dooku box. Yeah, it was the Dooku box with Asajj and Noserai and Aqua Droids, which is a pretty good list. I mean, overall, it's Asajj doing her thing. She's very force hungry, and everything along those lines. But it was a fun game. We had a good time. But yeah, I mean, anything else exciting going on for you?
No, just I'm exploring different hobby options. You know what? I was gonna post this in the Discord because I haven't found a good option, but we have a podcast. I'll just ask you all here, dear listeners. I'm looking for, you know the green grass powder, or like you get like the tan grass, like it's various shades of real grass, and you can use it for things. Like notably, I have it on those foam cliffs I have, and like you can use it for basic and everything. I am trying to find a blue version of that for the the like the couple of blue tables I have, and all I keep finding is like it's like the stuff that you use for trees. Like it's a thicker, bunchier material, like if you were gonna like build up and make an actual tree. Or I'm finding like sand, which, as I learned from that other board that I have, sand can be difficult to keep on the terrain or the pace, and it gets everywhere. I understand, Anakin. I feel your pain, buddy. So there you go. I found a couple of options online, but they're all like it's like a clumpy material. Like it's trying to create foliage. Oh, I don't know how to say that word.
You're
Oh, that's
talking
fun.
yeah. I don't think they have it in anything other than the tufts. I don't think I've ever seen
Right.
it in anything but the tufts.
That's Yeah, I've only seen it in tufts, and it didn't occur. Well, here's the funny thing. You know what you can find, Todd? You can find red grass, like, and I don't mean like reddish brown grass. I mean like bright red Mars sand colored grass. And I'm like, why is red the only other color I could find grass in? Like bright red. Like I would think with all the alien landscapes, like you could find tufts in every variety out there basically, but not just grass powder. So I don't know. I'm either gonna have to like find. I'm gonna have to accept that I'm gonna have to use sand or something, and I'm gonna have to like I don't know what Mod Podge over it or something to try and get it to stick to it, or I'm gonna have to give up and use the like tree stuff, and I'm just gonna be like our grass is different. It's just clumpier grass.
Might have to do that, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, well, maybe we can find some stuff. Like maybe somebody uh, in our Discord knows a little bit better than we do where to find that stuff. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen bluegrass before.
I
But
know.
yeah,
I
well,
just
maybe.
don't know. That's little stuff I'm working on. So getting used to the foam. Like I have the again I talked about it last time. You know Matt Bogler showed me how he makes the foam cliffs and stuff. So you'll probably see some more of those on my tables. But the advantage is I can cut them to appropriate sizes. So I know I've talked about my that one table where I have that small building on. I now have a cliff that is the literal footprint of that building. So no more shove problems with that because it will just sit right on it, and you get to the edge of the building, you get off. So I'm solving little problems. Nothing fun and exciting like a cool game with Dooku and Asajj, but little stuff
Nice,
this week.
nice. Well, all right. Well, I guess we can jump kind of into the main topic. 'Cause so what we're going to be talking about, like I had mentioned earlier, is the schedule that was released for Adepticon 2026. So Adepticon is going to run from March 25th through the 20. Is it the 29th? I want to say it's the 29th. Yeah, through the 29th of
Yeah,
March.
4
25th is
days.
the opening day. That's the fifth day. Really, is opening day. There's really not a lot of
Yeah.
activities that happen that day, other than usually you can go and pick up your badges. Usually some painting classes start that day. Maybe some of the games might have some learn to plays and stuff like that. Shatter or AMG will not, but there will be some stuff going on that day if you get there on Wednesday to sit there and do stuff. I know when we go for streaming, we're usually there like Tuesday so that we can start setting up immediately Wednesday morning and stuff like that. So still nothing official yet that whether we're going, but like, that is the hope and everything along those lines. But yeah, so like the first thing that actually does come up when you look at the schedule on Adepticon's website is the Star Wars Shatterpoint Key Operations Campaign League. So I know Aubrey was really excited about this because he was like looking at it and going, okay, he's introducing new rules, and he was still frustrated about the rules not being showed because when you go on to AMG's website, there's a spot where it says campaign, and you can click on it, and all it shows is the aggressor cards and everything like that, those different advantage cards. And so when you're looking at that, Aubrey was like talking earlier about how frustrated he was that there's no rules there. So I said, well, you know what, Aubrey? If you go into the Star Wars Shatterpoint Key Operations rule book and go to Appendix A, it has a whole appendix on the rules for campaign. Did you know that, Aubrey?
Listen, Todd, this is not the first time that I have believed something entirely reasonable and been mistaken. Look, I clicked on campaign, expecting there to be rules for the campaign, and then we read the campaign league thing, and it said introducing new rules, and so I was like, oh, maybe they're waiting to release the rules at Adepticon. That could be reasonable. I didn't think to look at the key operation book again. For all I know, okay, Todd. For all I know, the rules have been in there the entire time, and I just forgot. That's my life.
That's entirely possible. Now, that being said, looking at the key operations, it does say introduces new rules to key operations format. So it'll probably be. It has been pretty common where you go to Adepticon and they have like their leagues or whatever, and they have like a whole different spin on it for the particular con. So I would expect that these rules that you're going to see at Adepticon are going to be somewhat different from the key operation rules that campaign rules that we see in the rule book. I would expect it to be
Right.
spot on.
Right. I'm just excited now. So now I can't even talk about it yet because now I need to go read the campaign rules. Because all right, so everyone, I am a relatively 2 years in, new to tabletop wargaming. One of the most exciting things I had in my experience that wasn't Shatterpoint related was seeing the was it the Age of Sigmar guys? I don't remember, but there was at not the second adept or LVO, but the first LVO, there was one of the Games Workshop games was doing a narrative thing with pirates, and they had a giant pirate map that was like, you know, full size on a couple of stands, and they were all dressed up like pirates, like everybody participating in the event, and they were just going nuts with this story that they were enacting through their games all weekend long. And as somebody who is not trying to be super competitive anymore, like, I kept getting distracted from our event that I was helping Todd run, and I kept going, so what's going on with the narrative? What's happening over here? Like, the whole weekend I kept going, so who's winning? What's going on? So I would love to do something like this as like a side event, but like, again, we would need more help and I would need more. But anyway, my whole point is I'm very excited, and I'm probably gonna go read these rules as soon as we're done here. Well, okay, I have people coming over today, maybe later, but you get my point. This seems like it'd be fun. We already do a lot of leagues, so if I could look at this and figure it out, and then if there's new rules, well, new rules make me happy because I like all of the stuff. All the stuff they do at Adepticon is always like extra over the top fun because it's a con, but they're cool concepts. Like the one with the force and the light dark adding abilities and things like that's cool. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I got excited, Todd. Keep going.
Oh no, I mean, it's that's the nice thing about Adepticon and Atomic Mass Games is they really try and make this the giant spectacle that it should be, being like, because Adepticon is, as far as like, I mean, if you were to use sports metaphors, it really is the Super Bowl of miniature gaming. It is the pinnacle of the year. It is what most people, if you're into miniature gaming, this is what you go to do. So kicks off 6 a.m. Thursday morning, right from the rip. Then there's a couple of things that are going to be happening starting at like 9 o'clock. There's 3 different things that are going to be like or 2 of the 3 things that start at 9 o'clock are going to be kind of reoccurring throughout the entire con, which is the first one being the learn to play. They only have a couple spots for that, but that fills up pretty good. That's John.
Usually does.
John is great at teaching the game. He's been doing the learn to play since Shatterpoint has been there. He's a fantastic guy. Definitely is fantastic at teaching the game. Really has a good rhythm for it. He will teach all 8 players simultaneously, and I don't think that
Wow.
it is. And it doesn't negatively impact anybody either. I mean, he's just got that down on how to sit there and do that very well. So if someone's in the area, like if they're there for another game system and want to learn Shatterpoint, definitely it is worthwhile jumping into that. So I would definitely highly recommend it. Have you ever watched John do any of the stuff that he does with the Learn to Play?
Not for a long time. Like I would, of course, stop and say hi and check out, and kind of. I would always try to interact with the players to try and like be like, "Hey, are you having a good time?" That sort of thing. But I didn't really want to distract from what he was doing. So I believe you though, just from my interactions, that's how I would describe the experience, just based on knowing how he is. So I mean, that does not surprise me in any way.
Right, right. No, he's a fantastic guy. So the new thing that they're starting this year is something called the Star Wars Shatterpoint Battle of the Sand, on the Sand, I should say, and it's a sneak peek for this. This is something I think a lot of us have been like looking for. So this one is basically you are one of 4 players. It's a free for all basically format where you bring a single strike team, so a primary, secondary, and your supports, and then basically it's a free for all battle. That's all we know so far. It says see rule packet for details. The rules packet is not quite up on the website yet. So I know that there is the symbiotes version. I am drawing a blank on the name of it that they do for kind of the free for all.
Something crisis.
No, it's in my Marvel Crisis Protocol, but it's I can't think of the name of it right now. But there is a free for all version of it in Marvel Crisis Protocol. So if it's anything, and I think that is probably the best way to play. Like for a group to play Marvel. So if this is going to be anything like that,
Separation
right?
anxiety.
Yes, there you go. Separation anxiety. So if it's anything like separation anxiety, definitely I think you're going to just. I mean, AMG has knocked it out of the park when it comes to some of these multiplayer formats that they create. So and this one is only going to be $10 for people to show up and play. So I think that it's going to be pretty exciting to sit there and see what they do with this. What are your
Yeah.
initial thoughts on it?
I still stand by the very first thing I said when I learned the game from you all the way back in the beginning. Shatterpoint lends itself very well to being multiplayer. You can play with 3 people where it's kind of like two-headed giant 2v1. We now have Galactic Legends where you can play 2v1 when you have an odd number because I know this happens a lot, right? Like you have the weekly meetup at the store and 3 of you show up and you're like, cool, or 5 or whatever, an odd number shows up and you're like, what do we do? Who's gonna sit out and read their book? And so having these options of multiplayer and different formats, I've been clamoring for this ever since you explained how separation anxiety works to me. I will admit I'm always gonna be in Shatterpoint, and I'm slowly dipping my toes into Legion. MCP, I just don't have the bandwidth for like another, like if I'm going to play a second game, I want it to be like a different type. Like I don't want to play a skirmish game in a skirmish game. That's just not what I have in my head. But separation anxiety, I still want to play that with you. I'm not going to remember how to play anything from MCP, but we got to do separation anxiety at some point.
No,
And
yeah.
now knowing that there's going to be a Shatterpoint version, uh, please, 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 thank you, AMG. I know you did this specifically for me.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did. Well, okay, so not going into like the main thing because you kind of touched on a couple of things, like with what the other 2 reoccurring events that are going to be happening throughout the week are. Is going to be one of them being key operations. Where basically for this one, each player brings a key operation and a strike team, and then the operation played is chosen at random, basically. So you're probably going to be rolling off just kind of like similar to missions. So basically, it's going to be
Interesting.
yeah. So there's 12 players available for that one, and that's going to be I think once a day. Also, they're going to be doing a key operations thing. So that looks pretty cool. I know you like to play. You like key operations so far. I mean, if let me ask this: if you were to sit there and play in this event, what operation would you bring with you?
Oh, well, see, okay, I like key operations, but I haven't had a lot of experience with them. Um, I think just for the sake of familiarity, I might be, oh, let's see, the name of them.
There's trigger a chain reaction, extract the agent,
Oh,
jailbreak, and crash landing.
Crash Landing was a lot of fun. I would love to try that again just because um I was not able to save my people because if I'm remembering them correctly because of course I didn't look at any of them just now. That's the one where you are trying to get all of like if you're the sentinel, you're trying to stop them from getting on the ship, and if you're the aggressor you're trying to get on the ship, or maybe the roles are reversed, but either way your ship is trying to fly in like an episode of Rebels where Hera's coming to pick up the crew after a mission, but things have gone sideways and like they crashed on a planet, so she's trying to save them, and then the aggressor's trying to come in and stop them from being saved. And it's kind of funny because you have to like the ship moves around the battlefield the whole time to different objectives, and you got to get your people to the objectives. So it was a lot of fun, but the mechanics were a little complex. Like Andrew and I think we like messed it up for a little bit, and so then when we fixed it, I like almost lost on the spot because we were scoring wrong, and so then it was like, and I saved two of my squad, everyone else died. Mission success. So I just need more
Cool,
reps with
cool.
it.
Yeah. So I think that's. I mean, but I think that's pretty cool because I mean there are four missions or operations to play with now. So I think that's pretty exciting that they're going to be doing that as well. The other all day or all week activity that they're going to be having is legendary encounters. Again, which is very cool that they're going to be bringing that as well. I think as of right now, there's still only the two, or have they added another one? I believe it's
No,
just
there's one for
is
each
there
of the
four?
core
There's just the
set
four.
primaries.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. So, but outside of that, I don't. Yeah, I don't. They haven't added anything new. So I mean, that's going to be pretty exciting that you have those four. Looking at the rules that they have for this one, you basically you bring a galactic legend from the available list in a strike team using that. So like you have, and again the galactic legend player is determined at random, and a fixed mission is played. So there's going to be a specific mission that gets played, but you will bring whatever you want as your legend, and then you're also going to be bringing your strike team that you would be using in that, and then you basically get kind of paired up at random, I would assume, with other players, which is the nice thing about like the con is that you can really have that con experience of playing with other people. Like this is going to be, you can play with three other people, or when you look at like the battle on the sand, that's going to be basically playing with like four other people. I would think that's really going to lend itself to having a really fun con experience of being able to play with multiple players, not just the one-on-one method.
Right. The Galactic Legends is 2v1, so you got three players, and then the free for all. I assume that there's a way to play it with three players, but I'm guessing the assumption is that you are going to have four players because it's a con. There's going to be plenty of people there.
I would hope so. I mean, so that's where all of those are, and of course, each one of those has a different cost. The key operations is going to be the $10 one. It's $5 for the learn to play. The let's see, the legendary encounters, I'm assuming is going to be that's $10 as well, and then the battle for the sand on the sand is also a $10 event. So there's multiple events that are going to be happening that way. Now the big event that probably most is going to happen, or most people are going to be playing at least on Thursday, is going to be the team event. So this is the 2v2 team event that they do every year, where you have a modified strike team that you bring. Like, so basically each players bring two squads, so that you're going to have two players, like say Aubrey and I were playing together. I would bring two squads. He would bring two squads. And then when you go and build your team, each player will select one of their squads against the other two players. Then they would select one squad from each player as well. And you do your normal mission play and everything along this line. This is a $50 event to play in. Now, keep in mind, only one player has to pay. That both players don't have to pay for that. So it's basically whoever the team captain is, they go and pay for that. And of course, you always have to have a badge in order to play in the events as well. But I mean, I like the team event. It's different than I think some people play the 3-player team event and prefer to do it that way. Adepticon, we've had people from Adepticon on previously. Chris, the head judge from Adepticon, he was on after Adepticon this year, and really talked a lot about the team event and what they do and kind of like why they do it the way that they do, because they like, especially, it's just a format that they prefer. One of the things I really like about the team event, though, is the display boards that come out from that.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to see any of those last year, Aubrey?
Oh, absolutely. No, that's again, at some point you're gonna see me try to attempt one of those. Is it gonna look as good as the ones that we've been seeing as Adepticon? No, but I don't care. I'll get there. No, they're so cool. It's so much fun. I'm thinking of Matt Bogler's one just from LVO. Like he had like the tiki the tiki squad. So like yeah, they're very cool. There was remember the Mandalorian one?
Yeah, the Mandalorian one was really, really cool, where it was basically like the cave on Mandalore from the season 2, I believe it was, or maybe it was season 3 of. I think it was season 3 of the Mandalorian, but it was very cool. And the nice thing about this is, so basically, kind of going on a little bit of a side tangent, but we're talking Adepticon, so everything's on the table here. But what they do is, like, they will have people come around from Adepticon, and they will select like best in class of the display boards for each individual game system, and then there's a competition, so to speak, towards the end of Adepticon, where everybody puts their display boards out, and you can walk through and see some of the best display boards from every game system that was at Adepticon, and that's a really cool thing to go and see as well. It's an after hours type of a thing. But it's really neat to go and see like all the really cool work that some people do to show off the artwork that they do and everything along those lines. So team event is how they're kicking off. One of the things I like about this is that it's not happening simultaneously with the World Championships like it happened last year. So a lot of people last year didn't have an opportunity to play in the team event because they were playing in the second version of the team event, or of the initial qualifier for the World Championship. So there was a lot of that was happening.
Right, that's a change we've been talking about for LVO, is rearranging the schedule so that the team event doesn't happen at the same time as any of the other major events, and then you like basically apparently we're all getting on the same page, we're all having the same conclusion at the same time after running a couple of these, that we're like, oh, we should rearrange the schedule so that we don't have to do weirdness with the team event and then have the single player event later on. It sounds really obvious when you say it out loud, but listen, TOing is hard. We have to think about a lot of stuff.
Yep. Yeah, no, so it went pretty. It looks pretty good. Like, I'm glad that they made that change there. And then going into Thursday, like I said, like all of the stuff that we're talking about, the battle in the sands, the legendary encounters, the key operations, all of that is going to happen every day. So the one unique event that's going to happen on Friday is going to be the World Championship qualifier. There's 128 spots available. I don't think they hit that number last year. I figure it'll be pretty close to hitting that number. Basically, but this is $35 to sign up. It's going to basically include, it'll fill in the top 64 is a qualifier for the top 64, which will be happening later. The top 64 basically is going to include grand tournament winners. So if you had played in a grand tournament and had won, you are automatically qualified into that top 64. So you actually probably don't even have to play in this event here. So that which is really neat. I mean, so it's like, I think they're going to probably might change that up a little bit. I'm not sure. But it's basically top 64. automatically, if you're a grand tournament winner, you're automatically getting in. And then then the remainder is going to be from whoever is going to win out and fill out the rest of that. So we don't know how many of the people from the qualifier are going to make it into the top 64. It really kind of just depends on how many people that won GTs are actually going to be at Adepticon, because that's, some people, there's always going to be people that just can't make it for one reason or another.
Right. If this is confusing, just read the description on the World Championship qualifier. It basically explains it, that there's going to be the top 64 on Saturday and a top 8 on Sunday, and who is going to be in the cut from the qualifier is going to determine on X number of GT winners who attend the event. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that'll all be determined by Chris and his staff once they get the numbers of people that actually show up to the qualifier on Friday. So there's not, you're not going to have an exact number. I would gather that you're probably going to have 15 to 20 probably GT winners that'll show up. Just knowing some of the people that are going to be showing up and everything along those lines, that are at least planning to, because you have the Canada GT people will probably be coming down. You have most of the GT winners from the US will probably be making its way. I wouldn't be surprised if you had a GT winner or two from outside of the country, outside of the North America that showed up, which would really be cool, that to make it a real true world championship.
Yeah, I know. If I remember right, I don't. So I am still behind on some of my podcasts, and I will be honest with you all. I do skip episodes sometimes because I get too far behind. But I know Red Mandos had talked about in the past about trying to get to Adepticon. I don't know if that's still in the cards because I'm a little bit behind on their episodes. So, but I know they were talking about it, so we might see, and maybe somebody else, maybe some other GT winner from Australia ends up coming up here. We'll have to wait and see.
Yep. Or Europe and everything like that. So I mean, yeah, there's definitely some options there. So that's really kind of all that's going on throughout Friday. Looking at that, it makes me think that there's probably only going to be 3 to 4 rounds that day. Depending on how many players they get, I'm leaning probably towards the 3 to 4, 4 being the most, depending on the amount of players, because there is going to be. What was that?
I was just gonna say, I think it would have to be 4 because of just the amount of people, right?
Yeah, I would think 4. I mean, they're cutting to a top 64, so having 3 wouldn't be too bad. Because you have 128, you're cutting to a top 64 minus 20 players from this event. So yeah, probably 4 rounds I would assume is what you're going to be looking at. So yeah, I mean that's looking at that, and I'm sure we'll get more information as we get closer. But I'm leaning towards the probably 4 rounds on that one. So going into Saturday, as Aubrey had alluded to, you're going to have the top 64. So you'll know kind of how that's going to go once we get to. At the end of the day on Friday, we'll know who's going to be the GT winners that are in, and then the cut will probably get decided after that. So that'll announcement come there. But for the people that don't make the top 64, they are going to have another event. They are going to have the premier, just a standard premier showdown. So that's going to be 4 rounds of a Swiss event. They have 32 spots available for that one. Basically bringing your 4 squads and just a normal premier showdown type of event, which is good to have those other events for people that maybe had a bad run the day before and just want to keep on playing some Shatterpoint.
Oh yeah, no, this is pretty standard fare. You want to have something for the people who didn't get into the main event, and yeah, Premier Showdown is what people are going to want to play.
Right. Yeah, it looks, and like I said, I like that they've kind of streamlined a lot of this stuff. The schedule seems to be in a good place. There's not a lot of, they're doing the same stuff over and over every day. As far as the different cursory events, so like they're going to continue to do those over and over. And then going into Sunday, like Aubrey had mentioned before, we do have the top 8. So basically, at that point in time, it's going to be the last 3 rounds. of the day, and just those top 8 there. For the people that don't make the top 8, they are going to redo the Adversaries and Allies event. So basically, this is that building a strike team with 2 squads. Each squad has to compose 2 different tags from the Adversaries and Allies list, which has not been released as of yet. That's going to be another one of those that's going to come out. That's only going to be a 3-round event. We're hoping to see the rules packet coming out probably as we get closer to the the tickets being going live and everything like that, registration going live. So I don't know. What do you think about that? The list of events, Aubrey?
Well, I mean, I'm always curious to see what happens with Adversaries to Allies because, we kind of moved away from this just because of how difficult it can be to balance the event. So some of this is I want to come back and I want to see the more details, which is fine. I cannot wait for the battles on the sand. I might that might be the thing that I'm most excited about. Like, oh, forget the Adepticon showcase with all the new stuff we're getting next year. I just want to see those rules. So somebody, dear listeners, forget the main event. Go do that and then come tell me about it. Like that's what I want. What about
I
you,
don't think
Todd?
people are going to do that. No, I mean I'm right there with you. I mean I'm always excited to see like what lists are going to come from the World Championships. That'll be pretty exciting stuff. I mean I don't think we're going to have any releases other than the Morgan Elspeth and the Balin Skull
Balin.
boxes. So I don't see any like a lot of different stuff happening there. I mean, it'll be interesting to see kind of where the meta falls, especially with just those 2 boxes being the only stuff that's probably going to get released between now and Adepticon. I don't know, maybe something else will slip in there between now and then, but there hasn't been a lot of talk about releases. So, but yeah, the Battle on the Sand is, I think, probably where I'm at too. I'm excited to see what they've developed for a multiplayer, 4-player, free-for-all type of event, because, like I said, I really do enjoy playing the MCP version of it, and I've had fun running tournaments of the MCP version where you get 12 players, 16 players, and you have 4 different tables, and whoever wins each table, like they go and play at another table type of a thing for the ultimate grand champion of the free-for-all type of a thing. It's like a kind of like a king of the hill. So it'll be really cool to see what they do with this event, and what kind of rules they develop, because like I said, you and I have talked about like different ways that it could be done, and everything along those lines. So I'm excited to see how they put this all together.
Yeah, I expect I would be really surprised if Morgan and Balin didn't come out by Adepticon. Like that seems like they're
Oh
pretty far
no.
along. Like that, I wonder if that's going to be because I'm always like, well, what's going to be in the VIP package for everybody? Because the VIP package is always very cool. Like you're running around trying to find stuff. So I'm wondering if the plan is that Morgan and Balin are going to come out at that event, or are they going to come out sooner to shake up the meta a little bit? I don't know. That's kind of my speculation. I don't know what's going to be the cool fancy Shatterpoint thing that's going to be in the VIP package, because you get like one of everything, right? You get some Games Workshop stuff, you get some AMG stuff. Like there's always some cool stuff in that thing. So that's
There's
I
all
guess
sorts
that's
of
the only
different
other thing I'm thinking about.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's. I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, because if you remember, like what Kiadi Mundi came out in January of last year, of this year, but he wasn't in that box. It was like what was in there? It was
It was Cassian and Krennic.
Cassian and Krennic that weren't released. So it's. I have a feeling that these 2 boxes are going to get released before Adepticon, and maybe we'll just see some other stuff slipping its way in there.
Ooh,
Being
that'd
that
be
it
fun.
seems like it, yeah, but also seeing that it's an MCP, like it seems to be a focus on MCP, there might be some more MCP stuff in there that just we aren't used to seeing too. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Speaking of the VIP grab bags and everything that you get, those sell out fast. So if you want those, you need to be on the registration when it opens, and be registering immediately for Adepticon, because like I said, there's a limited quantity of those and they go super fast. Registration opens January 11th of next year. So you're looking at just a couple, January 11th is from the time that we're recording. That's basically 3 weeks away. 1, 2, 3 weeks from now, because we record on Sundays. So it's the second Sunday in January is going to be the when that opens. So be ready for that to happen, because it's and as of the time of this recording, Adepticon's less than 100 days away. Like, we're at 94 days, basically less than 94
It's gonna
days
come
until
fast.
Adepticon. So it's going to be here before you know it. So get ready. It's coming fast. I'm pretty excited for it. I mean, what are you most excited about for Adepticon? If we like, I'm assuming that we're going back to sit there and stream again, but even if we don't, I mean, what would be the most exciting thing you're looking forward to at Adepticon?
Well, I mean, again, besides our four-player free-for-all event that I want, I mean, this is just the big meetup. You get to see people you don't see any other time of the year. The Adepticon crew is awesome. So, assuming that we get to work with them again, that would be great. The what is the name of that place? Next to, I'm looking forward to doing some hangouts at the like food court style place that's next to the Baird Center, like just getting to see people, because it sounds like some of the people who haven't made it to Adepticon before are at least making the attempt to go to Adepticon. So like it'll be fun to see some new faces, see some returning faces, because this is kind of like I know we talk about America being big and everything, but this is kind of like the East meets West event, because a lot of times you don't see everyone when you go to LVO, because it's all the way on the West Coast basically, and you don't see all of the East Coast people, and then of course we don't always go out to the events that are on the East Coast, because again it's further away and it's expensive to travel. So this is the meeting point. We get to meet in the middle, and hopefully see everybody, and then hopefully see some people from overseas. Like I mean, we could spend another hour just going over the hobby schedule. Like, we are just talking to you, dear listeners, about the Shatterpoint events. There's a whole another schedule for all the other game systems, all of the hobby stuff, all of the classes you could take. There's vendors after like just giant lines of vendors. Like, you could keep going and going and going. Just so you know,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, no, there's something for everyone in the miniature gaming world, and there are classes going on all day long. I mean, and every day. I mean, if you look at Sunday, just Sunday alone, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like, looks like at least 10 classes, painting classes, hobby seminars going on, starting on Wednesday before the convention even starts, and that's the light day. Then that's before everybody else starts doing stuff, and then you go into the like all of the other days and all the other hobby stuff. It's like, man, there's just tons of different hobby events, hobby seminars, painting competitions. There's of course the AMG painting competition that they have, the Worthy, that happens every year. There's Golden Demon for anybody that does Gold Games Workshop. There is tons of stuff going on that you can do all year long or all weekend long. So definitely worth going to. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see everybody that shows up and everything along those lines.
Yeah. Is there anything, one thing you are really looking forward to in particular, or just the whole shebang?
I mean, I always like the AMG, the roadmap that they do at Adepticon. I mean, that's probably the big highlight for me every year, is seeing what's coming next in all of the different game systems. Because I definitely play like a lot of MCP. I play definitely a lot of Shatterpoint. I'm pretty close to dipping my toes into Legion, so we'll see what happens. I've been fighting it, but I don't know if I can fight it for much longer. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm excited to see kind of where the games go and what they have in store for 2026, as Adepticon's really the big reveal that we're getting, especially like especially looking at what we saw this year at Ministrav. I think it'll be exciting to see what happens, what they announce for us at Adepticon. So that's probably my big one. But again, like you said, getting to see everybody that we only see some of these people once a year. face to face anyway. So it'll be exciting to see everyone face to face. All of like I said, especially like the Adepticon staff and the individuals that run Adepticon. We only get to see them once a year, like Chris and Joe and John and like all of the staff that run Shatterpoint. They have an amazing Shatterpoint staff. So I'm really excited to go and see those guys for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we have one other last announcement that I wanted to make because I did say to kind of tease at that at the end there. So I got an email yesterday from Adepticon basically asking if we would be interested in partnering with them to do a giveaway if we talk about doing after we do our Adepticon episode, which we were going to do anyway. So I'm like, you know what? It just works out that sure, I was planning on talking about this. So let's go ahead and partner up with them. And in doing so, basically we get to run a little bit of a contest. So basically, if you are on our YouTube, I'm going to be running this specifically on YouTube. If you are subscribed to our channel, if you like this video and you leave a comment that says Adepticon, what you will be entered into a contest for a little giveaway that a gift that we were given from Adepticon. Basically, they are giving us a $100 cart credit. So basically, when you go to sign up for events and buy your badges, you can use this credit. So they're going to give us $100 in cart credit to give away to one winner. So basically, just like, subscribe, leave the comment Adepticon on this video on YouTube, and you'll be automatically entered. Please only enter this if you're going to go to Adepticon. I don't want someone to win this and not be able to utilize it for sure. So please make sure that you're doing that. But yeah, I think that's pretty exciting because, I mean, we were talking about prices. I mean, that gets you, if you're doing, I don't know how much badges are going to cost, but that's going to get you the badge, probably the team tournament and the World Championship qualifier. If you're going to sit there and have to pay for all of that, I mean, you might have to pay a little bit extra, but that covers almost all the events that you're going to be playing in. I mean, like if you're going to be just doing Shatterpoint stuff. So that's pretty awesome. Unless you're going to do the VIP badge or something like that. But this could help pay for that VIP badge too. So I'm pretty excited to be able to sit there and do that. Basically, looking at this, like we dropped the episode on Wednesday. I will do the drawing on the 7th. For that gives you, that way we can announce the winner, get the code over to the winner in time for registration to open. So plan on doing the drawing for that on the 7th. But I'm really excited. I mean, I'm glad that they were, Adepticon reached out to us and wanted to partner with us to sit there and, help bring some more people to Adepticon, make it a little bit more budget friendly for them or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So pretty exciting stuff there. I mean, other than that, I don't really have anything else for this week's episode. I mean, Aubrey, did you have any closing thoughts? I mean, we kind of covered in great detail at Adepticon and everything.
Just that if you're on the fence, I know it's hard. Traveling is hard. Going into a giant room full of people is hard. I get social anxiety and pressures like that. But if you are going to pick one event to travel to the entire year, as much as I love LVO, as much as like LVO is kind of my favorite, even I will say if you had to pick between LVO and Adepticon, I would go to Adepticon just because it can feel like the tabletop wargamer equivalent of a once in a lifetime experience. Like if you want to go to Disneyland for tabletop gaming, Adepticon is where you want to go. Like, and that's even over the event that I run, help you run in Vegas. Like Vegas is a lot of fun, but go to Adepticon because if you only get to do it once, it's awesome. I did not know what to expect because I had been to like Magic events only, and Magic events are very like laser focused on just game. And then I show up to this thing and it's so massive. And I know I'm biased, but the AMG room, everybody seems extra nice in it, or at least the AMG half of the room, because sometimes you're sharing. But I like everybody's nice, but I'm partial to the AMG side. Like it's a lot of fun. So if you can make it work,
Absolutely. Go
for it.
Absolutely. No, it's totally worth going to. I mean, I'm 100% right there with you. It's I love it. Adepticon's like probably it's the best thing you can be doing with your time for sure. So other than that, like I said, I definitely want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in, listening to us, hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. And as always, though, we do want to thank you. If you want to become or help support us and our journey to doing this podcast, you can always do that by becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month. It definitely helps us with doing all the things, getting the equipment that we use and upgrade so try and make the content look good for you. And so we definitely want to do that. You can, if not, rating, reviewing the podcast on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on, or if you're watching us on YouTube, giving us a like, subscribe, writing Adepticon in comments definitely helps out a lot too, because that puts you in a contest that you might want to win. But as always, I want to thank you very much for listening, and as always, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.